Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are one game away from being back in the NBA Finals. And this was probably the best played game of these playoffs so far. The Wolves and OKC executed ridiculously well. It came down to the wire. Haymakers were being thrown left and right. The Thunder foul up three correctly this time. It was giving me flashbacks to game one in Denver, but they ultimately get the job done, walk out of Minnesota, heading back to OKC for game five with a victory. And the story of it, like it's been all series, like it was in the last video I made about this matchup, was the Thunder Big Three. Shai, 40 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, and a steal, 1 rebound away from a 40-point triple-double. You got 34, 3, 5, and 3 steals from Jalen Williams, 6 threes. That is a career high from him. And Chet Holmgren, 21, 7, 1, 1, 3 blocks, hit 2 of 4 threes, should have been 3 of 5, but his toe was barely on the line for one of those shots. 9 of 14 overall, makes a huge block at the end of the game to go ahead and help the Thunder seal this one. This is the vision with this trio. This is the vision with this Thunder team. They finally shot the ball well from 3. I was starting to wonder if it would ever happen again. Caruso continues to be reliable, 2 of 5 from the outside, 1 of 2 from Kenrich Williams, 1 of 2 from Isaiah Joe. Everybody played well. Everybody stepped up. Lou Dort, we want to talk about the torture chamber. He and Casey Wallace, some of the best defense anybody has ever played. On Anthony Edwards, the Thunder defense as a whole clamped up on Julius Randle. Great adjustments from Mark Daigneault. They get the job done. 1 win away from the NBA Finals, 5 wins from an NBA championship, which of course is the ultimate goal. This was an unbelievable game. The Thunder came out a lot stronger than last game, and a lot of that was Jalen Williams. I said coming into the playoffs, he was going to have a big run. If the Thunder were going to win a championship, it was always going to be J-Dub stepping up, and so far, he stepped up more often than not, and in these Western Conference Finals, is having the best playoff series of his life, especially considering the stakes. He couldn't really miss at the beginning. He was hyper aggressive, hitting middies, hitting threes, getting downhill and finishing at the basket, playmaking well, getting steals. And then Shai also came into the fold, gave the Thunder, I believe, also 13 points in that first quarter, was playmaking really well. Shai's playmaking is not talked about enough, and that showed in the fourth quarter when he falls to the ground and somehow keeps his pivot foot down and got J-Dub a 3, throwing through the legs of Jaden McDaniels. Just unbelievable play if the Thunder go on to win it all. That is going to be one that's going to be thought about forever in the lore of this team. But yeah, Shai's playmaking, setting up guys for shots, and the guys actually hitting quite a few of those looks. Chet shooting the ball with confidence, getting offensive rebounds. He and Hartenstein both had 4. Hart hasn't played a ton in this series, which isn't surprising. It's kind of a rough matchup for him, especially because Chet has just been so much better as that lone big. The double big thing hasn't worked, and the Thunder didn't go away from that as the starting lineup. But outside of those first few minutes with the starters out there, OKC never went back to that unit. It was always one big out there or small ball, and that's the way it should be against Minnesota. They don't have the size mismatch like a Jokic to punish Chet being the lone big out there, or to make the Thunder pay for going small. Now, Gobert, overall, I thought had a really good game, his best of the series, finished with 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and I think most of those came in the fourth quarter. Jaden McDaniels was awesome, also using his size. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, oh my God, I felt like he could physically not miss in this game. He was hitting like Harlem Globetrotter type layups. The whole Wolves team was. The role players had their best game of probably the entire playoffs from Minnesota. Whether it was Nickeil having 23 points, that leads them in scoring, and 6 assists. He was playing like the best player on the team out there. He was their best player tonight. 9 of 15 shooting, 5 of 8 from 3. There was this quick moment where I'm like, am I sure that Shai is the better of the two cousins and he is the MVP of the league? He was ridiculous. Donte Divincenzo, 5 threes, 21 points. Terrence Shannon gave them great minutes again. And on the Donte Divincenzo note, so many open threes being given to him. The Thunder fell asleep on a couple of plays, and you got 2 back-to-back threes that tied this in the third quarter. Jaden McDaniels finished with 22 points. He hit 3 of 6 from 3. The Wolves shot 43.9%. They shot really good again like they did last game, but this time the Thunder matched them. They played great defense overall. The Thunder boarded up on the offensive glass. They did a great job, but even still, the Thunder lost basically every stat that should predict the winner of a basketball game. Like, the Timberwolves led the game in rebounds, assists, points off turnovers, fast break points, points in the paint, second chance points, free throw attempts, free throw makes, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage, and they lost the game. That's insane, and that just kind of is a testament to the Thunder winning the turnover battle. Like, that's the way the Thunder have won so many games, is they just get more possessions because of the turnover, the intensity of this defense. And that was one of the reasons why I picked the Thunder to win this series, was because that this Wolves team doesn't take care of the ball well. Julius Randle finished this one with 5 turnovers and really was not out there in the final few minutes and wasn't super impactful. Anthony Edwards had 5 turnovers. Everybody that played for the Wolves today had a turnover. at least one, if not two, if not more. That is what the Thunder do. They will blitz you. They will send pressure, and it's everybody, whether it's Caruso or it's Kaysen or it's Dort or it's Shai or it's Dub or it's Chet, it's iHeart. Everybody can steal the ball from you. Every single player. Outside of Isaiah Joe and J. Will, who only played 3 seconds in this game, and that was just to be a rebounder on the end of game free throw attempts, everybody on the Thunder had a steal. Everybody that played more than 8 minutes and 24 seconds had a steal today for the Thunder. That's the way it goes. This is one of the most chaos-creating, havoc-inducing defenses in the history of the sport. That's the calling card, and that is ultimately what won this team the game, in addition to just the tough bucket making, the answering that this Thunder team did in that fourth quarter. Down the stretch, the Wolves made that big run in the third to even things up, and it's like, okay, the Thunder have to respond, and they immediately did, and I think they were up 8 or 7 going into the fourth quarter, and then the Wolves made a big time run again, and the Thunder responded. Every single punch that the Wolves threw, the Thunder had an answer, whether it was an unbelievably tough bucket from Shai in the mid-range. She had so many of those, had 2 threes in this one too that were huge, whether it was Jalen Williams, again, hitting a career high 6 threes in the biggest game of his career, or tough mid-range jumper after tough mid-range jumper, and 2 of those threes that he hit came in the fourth quarter in the most critical moments. It was Chet shooting the ball with confidence, getting that block that helped the Thunder seal the win, and just walling up defensively, dunking everything. Chet has made a decision that he's 7 foot, he's just going to dunk the basketball and attack aggressively, and an aggressive Chet just raises the offensive floor and ceiling for this Thunder team so thoroughly. His growth and development and just continued aggression has been one of the biggest reasons why the Thunder are in this spot, and they're up 3-1. Whether it was his fourth quarter, one of the best quarters of his career against the Wolves in game 1, or tonight, the way that he played on both ends of the court. And obviously, like, Alex Caruso closes down the stretch with the big 3, as well as Lou Dort. iHeart isn't out there, and Caruso hit 2 threes in this game, continues to be the team's most reliable 3-point shooter. And there are a couple times where the Wolves struck back and it was like a 3-point game, and then Alex Caruso would find his way on a broken possession to the dunker spot and just get that quick layup. And shout out to the Thunder players, whether I think it was Dub who assisted him on one and Shai was the other one, something along those lines, but those guys continue to recognize that Caruso was in that spot. He put himself in a perfect position. He was finding the weak point in that Wolves defense, and that's why you bring in a guy like Alex Caruso. Do you know how many first round picks I would give up for Alex Caruso? Like, I think Arturas Karnisovas, the Bulls GM, should legitimately get a championship ring if the Thunder win it all, for giving us Alex Caruso for not a single first round pick. Obviously, Josh Giddey's involved in that deal, and he had a really good end to the season, but they couldn't even get like 1 first. They could have asked nicely and probably gotten 3 of them. So yeah, everybody contributes. The Thunder answer every single punch, and this was a game that, with the fouling up 3, that was eerily similar to game 1 against the Denver Nuggets, where the Thunder lost in heartbreaking fashion on that Aaron Gordon 3, and it's like, are the Thunder going to have this happen again? And they did it. This is the growth. This is the experience. I've talked about it time and time again, but this Thunder team is different. There's never been a young team that's been this good, that's made it this far. It doesn't happen. A team that's been this successful. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win a championship, but if they do that, I think they'll be the youngest team to ever win a championship, or at least in that conversation. I think maybe the stat is like the youngest team since the 70s or something along those lines, but it doesn't happen. Experience matters, but this Thunder team I have seen gets experience not just year by year, but series by series and game by game. I feel like if the Thunder don't have that game 1 collapse against the Nuggets, they probably don't win this one, because they execute a lot better in that foul up 3 scenario. Shai missed 1 free throw, but other than that, Shai knocked down all the shots that he needed to. And in the end, the Thunder come out of this one with a win. Shout out to that Timberwolves fan who tried to get the Wolves some extra time on the clock by reaching out and touching the ball after Shai threw it down the court, trying to just go ahead and end the game with the clock expiring. There's a reality where he saved this game for the Timberwolves and maybe wills them to an NBA Finals win. I don't know if it's going to be this one. Obviously didn't save the game for them, but yeah, Thunder get it done. 1 win from the NBA Finals. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, not his best game. I don't honestly think Ant played bad the way that some people do. He wasn't great. Finished with 16 points, 5 of 13 shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. Obviously, people are going to talk about him not being aggressive, and 5 turnovers also is a little bit rough, but I think a lot of it was also just the Thunder's focus was stop Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Do not let those guys get going. Let Jaden McDaniels and Gobert and Conley and Donte and Naz Reid, Nickeil and Terrence Shannon beat us, and credit to them, they almost did. They played that well, that supporting cast. The Wolves supporting cast is so good, but in the end, you know, you keep Anthony Edwards, one of the 10 best players on the planet, out of rhythm. At the end of the game, Ant's trying to make some things happen. He's being a bit more aggressive, but he hasn't really been shooting the ball all night. And the Thunder did a great job of putting more pressure on Ant, not dropping back as far and giving him a lot more contest on those pull-up threes. He shot 1 of 7 overall from the outside. Did hit one super contested one over Chet, but it felt like every look Ant got from the outside of like one, there was a hand in his face, which is what you have to do against a shooter of that caliber. They're making him rethink things, but ultimately, I felt like most of the time Ant made the right play, and it resulted in him having 6 assists. It felt like he could have had more, to be honest. It just doesn't reflect really in the scoring, and so people are going to say that Ant sucked, but I think a lot of it was just the Thunder's defensive focus and Ant not trying to force things too much. I think if he tried to force and put up like 30 shots in this game, the Timberwolves aren't even in this one at the end of the game. I think they lose it pretty comfortably. I really felt like he did what he needed to do in the flow. Maybe he could have been like a tad bit more aggressive. I think the Wolves should have run more stuff off ball to get him involved or get him going downhill, or more dribble handoffs rather than just hoping he can initiate at the top of the key. And same thing with Julius Randle. He was very ineffective. I felt like this was a series where Randle could really struggle after playing so good in the playoffs so far. He's had a couple really good games, but the Thunder are just a team that doesn't allow those bully ball guys to really beat them that often. You beat the Thunder by being, an outside shooter and getting those open looks, or, creating for others. It's not a team that you're going to beat going one-on-one ISO bully ball that often, because even if you get a guard, there's a lot of great help defenders. There's a lot of hands flying around. The guards play bigger than they are, whether it's Caruso or Dort or Kaysen or whoever. And that's kind of what happened to Julius Randle in this game. He just couldn't get it going. He turned the ball over 5 times, had the same amount of turnovers as points. And that's kind of the story of the night. The stars didn't really step up for the Wolves. The supporting cast did for the Thunder. The stars stepped up, and the supporting cast was there and involved as well. And the Thunder win a game that all the statistics tell you they probably shouldn't win. The Thunder become the first team out of 191 ever in the history of the playoffs to win a game where they have fewer rebounds, fewer assists, fewer free throw attempts, a lower field goal percentage, a lower 3-point percentage, and lower free throw percentage. Those teams were 0-190 coming into tonight, and now they are 1-190. So if you want to see the improbability, and I think, again, a lot of that is just the big three willing this team to victory, Mark making great adjustments, great rotations, guys stepping up defensively. It was a team win, and this is one that puts the Thunder 1 game away from the NBA Finals. I'm not going to say anything too crazy yet. I'm going to let this play out, but Game 5 in OKC, huge game, the biggest game the Thunder have played, obviously, since 2016 for the moment. I appreciate watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Let me know what you thought about this game. Also, I just don't know why we continue to mention the free throw merchant thing on the national broadcast, especially after a foul where Rudy pretty clearly got him across the arms. I just, again, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to feed into that narrative because it doesn't matter at all. The Thunder are 1 win away from the NBA Finals, and you're not going to get me talking about free throw attempts. If you want to see any of my thoughts on that, they're more so over on Twitter, but I'm not going to spend a video. Some people have been asking me, make a video addressing it. Why? Like, every stat, every number out there, if you just watch the games, will tell you it's not true. So I'm not going to feed into that and give it the attention that the people that are pushing that narrative want. But again, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of this game, what you think of this series. Do you think the Thunder are going to move on? Do you think the Wolves can extend it? What would be the most interesting matchup for the Thunder if they do advance to the finals? Would you like to see the Pacers or the Knicks? I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back. Thunder up.